In the 7 years that I work as a doctor, I noticed a peculiar phenomenon, which is my patients tended to come back over and over and over and over again. So I made a realization about 2 years ago that the reason why the patients come in over and over and over again is because the root of the problem is not solved. And this root is actually in the way the patients were eating their foods. And in fact, ancient philosophers, the father of medicine, Hippocrates, said this, that let thy food be thy medicine. So if we eat correctly, we will not need a doctor. However, if we don't eat correctly, no doctor will be able to help us. So I wanted to impart this information in the hospital, however it slowed me down significantly. There was no leverage because I could only do it one-to-one. So I decided to come out and conduct talks to a bigger group of people so I can create more awareness and help the ailing health system that we have today.
Thank you. So what do you think are some of the main causes that keep coming back to you? What kind of diet are they eating?
Usually the patients that I saw, they tend to eat a diet that is high in processed foods. They eat a lot of meats and they eat practically little or no vegetables at all. So that is a disease-producing diet. So certain foods produce an acidic or alkaline condition in our body, and we measure the acidity or alkalinity of a body using a scale called the pH scale. It's basically the potential of hydrogen within the body. And today people are living very, very acidic lifestyles. And when our lifestyles are acidic, it causes damage to our bodies. In fact, for example, let's say in our blood vessels, usually fat or atheromas get deposited along the blood vessel wall to protect the damaging effects of the acid within the blood. So a lot of people feel that they have a fat problem. It is not actually a fat problem, it's an over-acidity problem. And things that create acidity are things like white sugar, refined carbohydrates, meats. All these are acidic kind of foods, and acidic emotions include things like anger, judgment, unhappiness. All these create an acid condition in the body. And conversely, alkaline environments are created when we eat a diet rich in a lot of green vegetables, when we are happy and when we are appreciative. So this creates an alkaline state within our body.
I see. So you look like you are leading a very alkaline lifestyle.
Yes, I do my best because I want to be happy.
So can you tell us what are some of the foods in your daily diet?
So I make sure that I get my 3 food classes, and my 3 food classes are the proteins, the carbohydrates and the fats. However, it's not the conventional protein, carbohydrate and fats that most people consume today. My protein source is mainly from green leafy vegetables. So I take lots of kailan, chai sing, fukui chai. So I either eat them raw or I blend them into a smoothie and I drink them every day. So I get my fats from oleaginous fruits, things like durian, avocado, and I take flaxseed oil. Then I get my sugars from fruits. So I love to take mangoes, apples, papayas. So that's where I get a balance of these 3 major food classes.
So your diet is mainly a raw food diet?
Yes, I take mainly raw foods, and it's very important to take some amount of raw foods in our life because cooking actually denatures a food. Fire is a destroyer. So when we cook a food or we heat a food above 48 degrees Celsius, we actually destroy the enzymes, destroy a lot of micronutrients within the food. So in order to get these, you must make it a point to have at least some amount of raw food in your diet. In fact, when we eat cooked food, the body actually undergoes this process called digestive leukocytosis, which means white blood cells actually come up. In other words, the body identifies cooked food as a pathogen or an invading organism, and the immune system is triggered to remove it. However, when we take a diet that is more than 50% living raw foods, this digestive leukocytosis is dramatically reduced.
Before we end this video, Dr. Vincent, would you like to share with the audience the upcoming event that you're holding in Singapore?
I'm going to be conducting a seminar called Food, Health, Happiness. And during that half-day session, I'm going to share with you how our food powerfully affects how we feel. Because happiness is actually a neurochemical reaction within the brain. And we need to provide our brain with the necessary building blocks to create these neurochemicals so that there's a higher chance that we can be happy. And when we're happy, we'll be more healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vincent. Thanks for sharing with us and audience the truth about having a great health, awesome body and happiness. I also heard that you are a master in the psychology of happiness. Care to tell us more about how to make people happy?
Okay, so I've spent a lot of my time finding out what allows people to become happy. And I learned about this very powerful formula. Usually when people are unhappy, it's because the conditions of their life do not match their blueprint. Each and every one of us have a blueprint in our minds to tell us that life should be a certain way. So when our conditions of our life do not match this blueprint, we will feel not happy. However, when they match, we feel happy. And when the conditions exceed our blueprint, we feel ecstatic. So when the life conditions do not match our blueprint, it's simple. There are a few things that we can do. What most people do is they blame. They blame the environment, or worst of all, they blame themselves. And when we blame, we are often powerless to change the environment. The second thing that we can do is we can change our life conditions. And the third thing that we can powerfully do is also change our blueprint so that we can be more happy. And happiness is vital for health. Because what I notice is that happy patients tend to be healthier. Sometimes even if they eat an acidifying diet with a lot of acid-forming activities like smoking and drinking. But if they're happy, somehow they still do well physically.